All right, hey, it's DayTraderRockStar back here with you. We left off with Dell, and I want to go back to Dell here for a second because it was such a great trade. We had that gap down into after earnings on Dell, and we had a pretty steep sell-off here. But experience told me that quality stocks usually rebound and usually get sold off a little too much. So it's important when you see that sell-off here. And again, when you get a pullback or a drop, a gap down, that's a significant gap down. My rule of thumb is to wait 5 to 7 days before even considering entering a stock. And that could be hard for some people because you're biting at the bit to get in. But as you can see, it keeps you out of a lot of trouble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days would have brought us down to this, into the $13 area. Now, Dell did fall down even further, and there was some other technical indicators that broke down here because there was even a lower trend line here that broke down. And actually, to tell you the truth, at one point I was even down on the trade. But that happened. That's the nature of the beast. But you have to have confidence in your trades when you go into it, and you got to have confidence in your trade. And that little flush out here and that little reversal candlestick here pushed right back up here, and when I covered the stock on the site here, we talked about Dell bouncing back up to the 20-period moving average. That would be the first given. Quality stocks always retrace back to the 20-period moving averages. And in this case, Dell pushed right up to the 20-period moving average, and you can see this is the first time it actually held for 3 days here, held here. And I said after that we consolidate, we're going to move up to the gap, which is 1480. And right from there we moved right up to 1480. You could see, you could look at the price level of these highs right here, all of them at 1480. All right, so 1480. Right up against the gap resistance, we call it gap resistance, and that's whenever there's a gap, that stock that leads, that area leading back into that gap is always a first level of resistance. So even if you take a position down here, either 5 to 7 days or an area down here, and you have your profit area, you always want to take profits into that first gap resistance. It's a smart thing to do. It's good money management. It's good trading management. So you have the consolidation here. We're holding the 20-period moving. We're actually holding above the 200-period moving average. And again, stochastics are giving a little overbought indication, but a break of that 1480 would push us into that gap. And when a gap gets taken out or starts to get filled, you can usually call a target as to close that gap, which would be around that 1570 area, 1570. So it's a decent 50 to 70 cent move you have on Dell still. Now, any type of pullback here, I'd love to get a little retracement here on Dell. Not too far, maybe even down under $14 would be great, and I'd pick up Dell more, pick up some more Dell, look for that retracement back up to the 1480, and then a breakthrough the 1480 up to the 1570, and eventually we'll probably head higher. But Dell's a great trading vehicle, and you have to just take the opportunities given to you when it happens. So again, a lot of these going out to the members of the site. You can see now, and remember from the alerts that were going out. Yeah, it looks a little crazy in the beginning when it was selling off here, and but you gotta remember that you're trading. You can't be, believe in the fear in the market. Things are done. Stocks are manipulated for a purpose. What's the difference between having Dell here at 1280 and then Dell at 1480? Is there really true market cap difference, like from a billion? I don't know what the market cap difference is from at this point, but can you justify that in 2 weeks of trading? Did Dell do anything different? No, it didn't. It's a manipulation, people. It's how the markets work. So when you see something getting hammered like this, the true money makers, the people who strive in this market are the ones that are picking up on these dips in quality stocks, and that's what I try to really pound home each day. And that's a good example of the Dell stock right there. And again, the Exxon's go back to the Exxon. That's going to be a great example too. There's a nice little gap here on ExxonMobil. We're gonna, if we get a pushback down here to that lower trend line, I'm going to be picking it up, loading the boat down here because, ExxonMobil, one of the biggest companies in the United States, you're going to bounce back up. You're going to definitely bounce up to the 20-period moving average. These are all great setups. I'm going to walk you through them as they happen every day. So Not an issue here. Not an issue. Did we talk about Procter & Gamble yet? If we didn't, I just want to go over it one more time. Procter & Gamble is going to be a great setup coming down to the lower trend line, 59.50. Just have to wait for it. And again, these setups are going to continue to come towards us. Let's take a look at Dow Chemical. Dow Chemical here is one that recently traded off of a channel line. We recently traded this great trade, took profits into it. Now it's starting to pull back. So again, whenever you get a break of a trend line or a channel line, you look for that next entry to be a pullback to the lower trend line or that top of that downward trend line. So if we get a pullback here to that 2680 area or right at the up top, then we would look for another entry here on Dow Chemicals, DOW. So until then, you still keep it on your focus list. You watch it, wait for the stochastics to come back down. And all these situations here, this situation here, we have a perfect channel line. We have a rising channel line here that went back to July. This was all focused on the site. And we took that entry off of the multiple indicators. The stochastics here bouncing here, and we got that breakout. I wouldn't take this, up here. I wouldn't be buying Dell up here when the stochastics are getting overbought. I mean, there's no reason to. There's no reason to buy any stocks when indicators are telling you to overbought. That's the scam of the markets, people. I hate to get, I could go on to a rant here and talk about the manipulation in the markets and how the newbie traders get in there. They get sucked in and buying breakouts and stuff. But that's not the way it's done. You're going to continue to make money in the market if you have discipline and patience. I'll reach through this screen here and pull you. No, I'm not going to get carried away now. But anyway, let's move on here. What happens if you don't see anything on a daily chart? All right, here we got an interesting setup in Time Warner, TWX. All right, and I'm like, wow, all right, comes up on my scan. TWX, nice pullback. Stochastic comes up on my stochastics being oversold scan here. All right, stochastics are now oversold into an area, but they're starting to get embedded, so I still think there's maybe a potential little push down a little bit further here. So how do we time an entry here? We're on the 200 period moving average. Break it down to the 60-minute chart. Go to your 60-minute chart. I already put it in here. Again, charts work the same way. You have a 60-minute chart. You can see the channel line already developing here. You hit it once, you hit it twice, you hit it 3 times, you hit it 4 times. You already have your upper trend line. You already have your bottom trend line. Now you can establish where you want to buy. You could take your time now. You don't have to be forced into a trade. I'm not going to take this trade unless we get a pullback down here to the lower trend line, 2820 area, wherever the price comes down to this level. Once it comes down to this level, then yeah, I'll take the trade. And that'll be a perfect trade. That'll be a good set trade. I will make money on that trade. All right. I will not get in here because it's kind of more of a gambling situation. The daily, yeah, it looks interesting. Once I get it back up here, it definitely looks interesting. I mean, you could scale in here if you wanted to, and look for a bounce here. Yeah, but risk reward wise and consistently making money in this market, you take the trades when they come to you and you continue to make money. All right, and that's what we want to do. We don't want to be sitting, worried about what we're holding and stuff. And it happens. We're all in that situation one time or another. But it's important to be focused. Dolan Media. This is another one. Came up on my scan, and this one's looking interesting. So I want to look at this one going into this week, even tomorrow. Dolan Media, nice reversal bar here. We talk about candlesticks in another video, and. Again, stochastics are starting to turn up. I would just buy this on a continuation move here above recent highs, which would be 1053. So I'm going to do a little more research on this. I'll talk more about this one on the site coming to the end of this video. And I want to do one more video on the home builders, but there's add some other stocks onto this. So hope you enjoyed that video. Again, people, the positions are out there. You have to do your research. You have to have your focus list. You have to do your homework. It's not, trading is a beautiful lifestyle, but you need to do your work and you need to learn this, learn how to trade. I'm willing to help. I do a live show every day, so come on by and see how we trade. And it's pretty easy. DayTradingRadio.com is the site. And again, I opened these videos today just as a little gift to some of the non-members out there. This usually goes out to only the members. There's a member site on the site. But as a New Year's present to everyone out there, feel really positive going forward, and there's a lot of good developments out there. So I send this out to everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. If not, if you did, please give me some feedback. Either way, this is feedback. You can reach me ironaction@yahoo.com or just come to the site daytradingradio.com. Thank you very much.